Hey guys, good morning. I hope I'm audible. Just a minute, I'm just opening up the link. So I hope I'm audible, guys. Great. A warm welcome to everyone. A very good morning. In today's discussion, we'll be talking about lists and tuples. So you remember yesterday we finished talking about dictionary. So that was an introduction to dictionary, by the way. So we'll be going in deep there anyway in dictionaries as well. But in this session, we'll be talking about lists and tuples in detail. Okay. So we'll be doing some good hands-on questions. I'll be talking about some slicing strategies, and also we'll be doing some great questions there, right? So it's always important to solve as many questions that gives you more clearer picture of everything. Hey Kash, good morning. Thank you for joining in. So I hope others will also be joining in meanwhile, so we can quickly start, so that people will keep on joining in. And as always, guys, I'm monitoring my chat. So any questions, any concerns, or anything which you're not able to understand, right? So do not keep quiet. So this is not a recorded session; it's a live session. So we are going pretty much live. So you can ask your doubts straight away, right? So there's no point of staying idle and then just assuming something how it is working and all that. So if you're stuck, do ask your questions. I'm monitoring the chat. Okay, so to introduce myself, my name is Arpit Jain and I'm a lead data scientist myself. I've been in the industry for almost 9 years now, into multiple domains, as I was saying. So I was part of a finance sector, then I was in the cloud domain, then I was in automobile manufacturing sector. Right now I'm in telecommunications. So multiple domains, and all of these times I was working as a data guy. So that is where I believe that I do have cross domain informations as well. So if you have any concerns regarding when to start your career, how to start your career, how to make a transition and all that, so all the career related questions as well, do try to put up in the chat if you're confused how to start. So data science questions, please do put up, right? So we can take that. Along with that, I'm also a motivational speaker. So as I've said, so I do take care of industry sessions. I talk to students. I take care of placements, assistants, and all that. So I talk to students regarding the career, jobs, what options do they have, right? So anything in that area as well. If you're stuck, if you're not sure what to do in your career, what to start, when to start, data science, and all that. So do put up your questions, guys. Okay, do not sit idle, as I'm saying. So we can utilize the time. Okay, so we can obviously utilize the time and we can talk. Cool. But again, sticking to the topic here. So our discussion for today is basically into list and tuples. So I'll just give you a brief recap of what we did so far in list and tuples, and then maybe I'll just jump into the advanced sections of list and tuples. Okay. So just give me a minute. I'll pull up the things here. Just a minute. I hope my screen is visible with the code. Right, it should be visible. Okay, cool, great. So now we were talking about lists. So I'll just pull up the lists part. So in the list, couple of things which I've just said earlier also. So list is an ordered collection. By ordered, I mean there is an index assigned to that, right? So every element has an index assigned to that. Okay, so by indexing you mean the forward indexing and the backward indexing. So both of these are equally valid. Forward you start with 0, and backward you start with -1. Okay, so that's the only difference. And again, list it's a very flexible item where we can have multiple data types also stacked together. So I can have a string, I can have a number, I can have a float, I can have a list itself, or I can have a dictionary, I can even have a function. So whatever you want, you can put it into your list and club it together, make it as a sequential data type. Okay, so I can have anything which is required for your work in towards your list. Okay, that's pretty much possible. So we saw that what we saw, indexing, so multiple level indexing. So we can do first level indexing, and then top of that the second level indexing. Then I can go to multiple of such levels. And then we also saw creating multiple elements of the list types of the multiple elements. We also talked about how to access them, and we talked about the nested list where you have the list of lists. So I have here two, the main list is having two sub lists, and also in this sublist I can further fine tune it to find the second element, which is for example for, and in that for also I can go deep and try to understand what is the index of my O, or maybe R, or maybe an F, right? So we can still do that. So multi-level indexing is still possible, guys. We saw that. So this is pretty much simple. And I also showed you this, so where I have the indexing here. So suppose if I have this element A, B, C, D, E, and F, and this is how it looks like, right? So I have the 0 starts from this point, so from left to right, this is my forward indexing, and the backward indexing starting from right to left, right? So my 0th index, for example, A here is referred as 0, and also at the same time as -6 because it starts from -1 from the other side. So both are equally fine. So then A is 0, B is 1, likewise F is 5, right? So this is my index values if I go from left to right or forward indexing. If I go from right to left, that is on the backward side, we have starting from -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. So starting from -1 with a gap of 1 each, right? So that's how the indexing works. We saw about how we can index through, how we can access the element through indexes, right? So we discussed about writing the indexes backward and the forward indexes and all that. So this is what we did so far, right? Now let me jump to some of the advanced part of list. Okay, let me show it to you how we can do the slicing also on top of that. So slicing kya hai? So there is very interesting thing. So one way where we understood about how we can access the list element is through my actually. Just give me a minute, guys. Just a minute. I think there is something which I just made. Just a minute, guys. I think I forgot to keep it here. Just a minute. I think my bad. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm just setting this up. I think I forgot to do that. Let me pull up this. I think I just forgot that. Okay, right. I hope my screen is pretty much visible now. This just loading up, guys. There was some technical issues in that. Where did it go? Where did it go? Right. I hope my screen is visible again. Apologies for the mix-up here, guys. Right. So what I was saying in this A, B, C, D, and F, right? So now there is one more strategy of, so what we discussed so far was through indexes, right? So accessing the elements through index. That's what we did, right? So we described about forward and the backward indexing. But now we will talk about how you can slice the elements also. Slicing kya hota hai? So slicing is also possible. Slicing mein, I'll tell you how the concept is. So slicing mein, we have to define the element ka order. Okay, so for example, in the slice object again, so indexing, I mean, whatever you access the element, that is going through your square brackets only. Okay, so in the slicing, we have multiple sub elements. So we have start element, we have end element, and we have step element. Okay, so there are three things which we generally define in slicing. Okay, so start, end, and step. And here in this start, end, and step, we'll be defining the index value. So I'll just write it what it is. So start is nothing but my start index. Okay, end is nothing but my end index. Okay, and step is nothing but my step size. Step size, I mean how much I want to hop it. Like if I want to take 1, 3, 5 elements, so 1, 3, and 5 index. So the hopping size is 1, right? So I have to keep hopping by 1 more unit. So that's what I have to define. I'll tell you. So now, for example, suppose if I use the same list, okay? So suppose if I use the same list, which I have it here, okay? Same list. And now this is my A here, right? So A is this. Now suppose I want to access the initial, so indexing is giving you one element, right? So it is like one element at a time, but I want a series of such elements. I want multiple elements to be accessed at the same time. So I can use, in that sense, my range of values, right? So in that case, what I can do, what I can give the slicing value. So for example, I say that I want the first 3 elements to be printed. I want the first 3 elements to be given to be used for my coding purpose, right? So what I can do here, in this case, A, starting from, so here, instead of giving say 0, which will give me A, and then if I give 1, it'll give me B, and then if I give 2, it'll give me C. I want all of this to be printed together, right? So I can give a range of such values. So what I can give 0, 0 colon 2, right? So it can take 3 values where the third is an optional one. Okay, so this is an optional index values. So now what this means, I'm starting from A. Okay, my bad. So yeah, so my bad. So I'll tell you. So there are again two different ways. So if I start from A, it'll take the n minus 1 character. So if at the end is basically my n minus 1th character. Okay. So here, if I want to access the first 3 elements, I have to give n plus 1 as my index. So starting from 0, I have to define 3. So starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, instead of 3, I'll take as 2 as my range value. So if I do it like this, I'll get the first 3 elements of my ranges. First 3 elements of my dictionary, the list values, right? Likewise, I can also specify, for example, 0t 0 to 5. So in this case, I'll get the first 5 elements because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 index will be given here. So 0, A, B, C, D, and E. So now here I have 6 elements, right? So it will be valid if I give 6 here as my 7th index. If I do it like this, I'll be able to get all the 6 elements, right? That is also fine. But what if I give, say, instead of 6, I'll give this as 10. Now 10 is not an index here, right? So 10 is not an index. So 10 is not a valid index here. Can somebody tell me, Akash or anybody, what will be the output here if I run it like this? 0 colon 10 or 0 colon say 100 in that sense? Can anybody tell me what will be the potential output in this case? So till the time the indexes are there, it should be able to print you, right? So, and till the n minus 1th end index, right? So that is pretty much valid. But what if I give an index value which is not present in your list, which is not valid in your list? So what will happen in that case? Will it give an error? So okay, Akash is saying out of range. I'll just show it to you. It'll not give you an error. Okay, it'll print you. It'll print the elements till the time it has a valid element there in that index. And if the element is not existing post that valid index, it'll just skip that. It'll not give you an error. Okay, it'll not give you any out of range error in that sense. Slicing here by using start and end will still print you the data till the time the indexes are valid and till the time the data is present in those indexes. And the additional indexes for that, it'll just skip away and it'll not give you an error. Okay, so that's a beauty of the slicing technique as well. Okay, so now this is one technique. So now, for example, so this is one way. So now 0 to 3 is fine, A, B, C, right? So I'll just do it like 6, so all the elements. And now I wanted to skip C. So if I just do it once, so for example, if I give say step size, so now I'm giving the steps also, right? So here what I mean, I want the elements from 0, starting from 0, ending at the 6 minus 1th position, and for the increment of 1. So it should be like first index should be 0, and the second should be 0 plus 1, and the third should be 0 plus 1 plus 1. So every other index will be addition by plus 1 here. This is what it is saying, okay, the step size. What if I give step as 2? Now this is saying the first element should be 0, the second should be 0 plus 2, and the third should be 0 plus 2 plus 2. Likewise, plus 2 will be getting added on the starting index for me. Okay, this is what step says. Okay, so now for example, let's see, and this will be valid till the time my indexes exist, right? So it'll be just keep on adding it. So 0 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So now till here it is valid because it'll be 0 till 6, right? It's still valid. But if I go like this, 0 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, this is not valid. It will not give you an error, but it will give you the data till the time it is present, okay, till the time the indexes are present. So now let's see if I'm doing like this. So now did you see? It'll first give you the 0 index, which is A, valid. Now I'll give you 0 plus 2. So 0 plus 2 is coming here. So that will give you C. Now C plus 2 will give you E. So they'll give you E. And now E plus 2 will give you something else, which is not there in the list, right? It will not print you. It will not give you an error, but it will not give you the result. Does that make sense, guys? This is an important concept and this is more of an advanced concept. And if you are able to understand that, just do let me know. Just do say yes in the chat, or any question, do let me know. Okay, so this is one of the ways we slice the data. Okay, and again, there are multiple things also in this. So we can obviously start from the backward side as well, right? So we can start from the backward side. The indexing, the start index could be also not only from the forward side. We can start from the backward side as well. But again, I'll show you one more trick here. So for example, see A here, right? So A is simple. So A is my entire list, right? And if I do A, starting index is 0. And if I just write a colon and I do not specify anything, because start and end is mandatory when you write something, but you can still skip the actually values there, right? So you can still skip that. How this is the one case, one example here. This means that starting index is defined and end index is kept blank. This means that start index is specified. So start index true hai. Start index is true. And if end is not specified, this means that till that time end exists. So this is the logic, okay? So now if I do it like this, 0 colon nothing, this means that 0 ke baad jitne bhi elements hain, it will print you. So now look at this. My bad, this error. Right, so now if I do it, so starting from the 0th index, print whatever happens after that. This is what it means, right? I can still do it like this. So 0, 3. So from the third index, print whatever is there. So third index is my D, right? This is my starting index, third is my D. So from D, print whatever exists in the list. So this is still valid, okay? The reverse is also true, guys. So the reverse is also true. So now what I want, for example, if I do it like this, so A colon 3. So here what I means, starting index is blank and the end index is 3. So what I mean is, till the third index, print whatever is present from start. So now here what I mean, A, B and C, and always remember end is always n minus 1. So end is always n minus 1. Okay. So here till the third index, which is actually D, I'm printing till n minus 1 C. So till C, I have to print everything what is there in the back. Okay. So this is again very interesting and one of the important concepts in slicing of my data. Okay. Clear, guys? Cool. चलो, ये सारे जितने भी कॉन्सेप्ट्स बताए मैंने आपको, ये फॉरवर्ड इंडेक्सिंग के लिए वैलिड है, फॉरवर्ड स्लाइसिंग के लिए वैलिड है. But again, we'll do it on the backward indexing also. Backward indexing भी still possible है, right? So backward indexing में क्या है? So concept still remains the same. For example, here I have A here, right? So now suppose A है ना? अब A में starting index में बोलता हूँ -1, for example. So here what I mean, instead of starting from here, I'm saying start from here. Okay? So I'm saying that F would be my first character. Okay? Now I'm saying end till everything. So print it like this. So start from -1 and print everything. So now here, can you say this? I have -F and इसके बाद मेरे पास कुछ भी नहीं है, right? So this is why it will printing you F, right? Now if I specify -1 till -4, right? So now I'm saying that do not stop here. Do not stop here. Start from this and end it till the -4th index. So what is my -4 index? -2, -3, -4. This is my -4th index, right? So if I do it like this, okay, just a minute. I think I missed that point. This is fine. Right. Okay. So no, that is something which is I think even I missed point. Okay, cool. Starting from the 4th index, no. Okay. Other vice versa. So now what I'll do here is I'll start it from -3, for example. In this case, I'll be saying reversing is different. So I'll talk about the reversing logic later. Let me just give it to you. So now if I start from say -3, so other way around. So here the starting index is say -3 like this. And from here I want to print everything. So it'll be like D, E, and F, right? So starting from the -3 index, which is D here, right? So starting from D, it will be printing my all the remaining characters E and F. I can do it in another way also. So for example, the very interesting topic is, for example, see 0. So I'm starting from, I want all the characters and I want all the end characters also. And what I want here is, suppose if I do it like this 1, right? So step is, I'm not defining any start and I'm not defining any end. So I want all the elements to be present and I want the step to be 1, right? So in this case, what can I get? I'll get all the elements starting from 1 till the end value and the step is 1, right? When I give it 2 like this, so what I can get? All the elements specified by 2 index, so 2 steps. So A, C and E will be printed. Likewise, I can give 3 also. Now, what will happen if I give instead of 1, I give as -1 here. So if I give as -1, so now what I'm saying is, hey, instead of starting from here, use the -1 indexes, -1 step. So I mean, use the -1 steps in this case. What will happen in this case? My indexes will be reversed here. So instead of starting from this, I'll be starting from here. And also, since the step is only 1, so I'll be taking all the elements but in the reversed order, because I'm specifying the step as -1 here, right? So now in this case, the list is completely reversed. Now can you see this? So initially I have A, B, C, D and E. Now I have F, E, D, C, B and A. So it's like a reverse of your list. So this is one of the interesting way also, where if somebody asks you, there's a very standard question which is generally asked in the interviews, how you can reverse your list, right? So generally to reverse a list is pretty simple. So list colon -1. So that's how you reverse your list, because this is what the logic also says, right? So I can take a step of 1, but I'm doing it on the reverse side. So that is where I'll be doing it -1. Cool. So here you'll be reversing your list. Great. चलो एक दो questions करें इस पे. चलो let me just give you a few more examples. So let's try to run few of the examples here, and let me just show you. We'll do some examples and we'll see. Cool. So let's do that. अभी हमने पता है, अगर मेरे पास A एलिमेंट क्या है, A मेरे को पता है, A is like this, A is A, B, C, D and F. Now if I do it like this, colon 2. So in this case, you know that. So I'm starting from 1 and I want all the characters, because I'm not specifying any start and the end indexes, and I'm doing it as 2. So that means that starting from 1, I want every second index to be part of my output. So starting from A, if I do it like this, what should be output? Output should be A, C and E, right? Pretty simple as that. If I do it like this, this is simple, A, C and E. Now another question, A of -6. So if I do it like A of -6, that means that I want the -6th index. -6 means I'm doing a backward indexing here, right? So backward indexing means starting from F, that is my -1 till -6 is going to be my A here, right? So if I do it like this, I should be getting A, right? This is simple. Another question to you. Start, stop and end में मेरे पास -4 से मैं start कर रहा हूँ till end value, right? So I want everything to be there. So -4 में क्या है मेरे पास? So here is -1, -2, -3, -4. So I'm starting from C here. That's going to be my start character, and I want till everything till end, right? So basically C, D, E and F. That's going to be my output, because I'm starting from C here in this case, and I want everything till end, right? Now there's one interesting thing here. For the same question, this one, if I do it like this, so I want everything till end, okay, and I give -1 here. Can somebody tell me what will be the output if I do it like this? So if I do -4 colon till end, and I want and I give step as -1. So instead of moving from left to right, now I'm specifying the list to move from right to left. Quickly guys, can somebody tell me what will be the output here? -4 till end, and I'm giving step as -1. Okay, Akash says error. Okay, anybody is having any other response here, guys? Okay, let me show it to you. This will not give you an error. Remember, guys. So now the thing is, now when I did not specify anything as a step, it is by default taking it as +1. So here step is +1 default. Okay. So if I don't specify anything, it will always take as +1 in the from the forward indexing slice. Okay. But now if I specify it as -1, now I'm saying that, okay, so -4 is C, this is fine. This has been identified as C. Till end is fine. So either is going to be this end or is going to be at this end. So both of these are ends for me, right? Now by specifying step as -1, I'm saying that, dude, don't go from left to right as a standard one. Go from right to left. Right? So now here, your end is not F, your end is A. This is what I'm saying it here, right? By using the minus sign. So your end is A here now in this case, okay? And when I say step is 1, so that means that for every interval, you have to find out the element. So every +1 differences of your indexes, you have to find the element. So this is going to be my first index, +1, +1. Okay? And the end is reverse in this case. So here the indexing will be C, B and A. So this is what this indexing means. Start till end, and end is my start here because my first index, because I'm specifying the step as -1. So minus, this is because of minus, I'll be saying that now my end is my first index. Okay. And my 1 is my step size. Cool, Akash? Clear? Okay. So this is gonna be my output here. So let's take one more example. The reason I'm asking you multiple questions, the reason I'm trying to give you multiple questions here, because ये बहुत basic concept है, but again, this is some of the, I would say, core concept of your list, है ना? So ये slicing, generally, again, people tend to skip this and they don't really understand this, but it becomes really important. Okay, chalo, give me an answer to this then. So you have starting index as 0. So I mean, it's a blank. So everything from start. And now you're saying that the end is -1. So here, what I'm saying is in this question, so my start is blank. Okay, my end is -1, and my step is 3. Cool. This is a question, and I'll just print A also above, so I'll give you, you're able to understand the question. So this is my A, B, C, D, and this is my list here. And now I'm printing starting as blank, end as -1, and step is 3. Can somebody tell me what will be the output here? Akash or somebody else wants to try this? Can somebody tell me what will be the output here? Quickly, guys. Okay, A and D. Okay, my bad. I just have to run this. Let me run and show it to you. Great, Akash. Wonderful. So here what I mean, do not get confused here, guys. This is my end as -1. So end -1 means F, right? So -1 is F. You know that, right? And step is still the 3, is positive index. So the list is not reversed in this case. The list is still the left to right. So my forward indexing only. And start empty means starting from the first index, which is 0. And till -1 means till F at the step of 3. So A plus 3 is going to be D. Plus 3 going to be nothing because E, F ke baad we don't have anything. So that's going to be my output, A and D here. Great. Thank you, Akash. Thank you for confirming that. चलो एक last question कर लें. नहीं चलो ये तो easy question है. चलो let's do that. Let's proceed. ठीक है, ये हमने कर लिया है. Cool. ये वाला एक concept पढ़ते हैं. ये important concept है. I have my A here. Now, I can also perform my concatenation on top of my list. Okay. So for example, if I want to add some elements, okay. So for example, like this. So I have this. So I have this element A here, right? So I can actually do one thing. So I can do A plus I plus J. So what I'm doing here is, so instead of doing, let's complicating it here. Let's do it like this first. Okay, so what I'm doing is, so look at this, guys. So I just added A plus I. इसमें मैं append भी कर सकता हूँ. We can use the functionality append as well. But I'm trying to say that I'm trying to give you the differences. Okay, so there is very standard differences in using the append or a plus operator. I'll show it to you. Okay, so for example here, if you do a plus I, okay, so a plus I, and I is represented in my indexes here. So more of a list. So if I do it like this, for example, let's look at this first. Okay, so now you see the difference. I cannot concatenate a string element to a list. Okay, so this is my string here, and A is a list here, so I cannot concatenate it like this. So I have to specify this as a unitary list object. Okay, so unitary list object means I'm specifying this as a list again, where this list has only one element, which is my I. Okay, so if I do it like this, a plus I, that I gonna be appended at the end of my list. So instead of having 6 elements, now it will be having 7th element. The 7th element is going to be my I here. Okay, that's one thing. And now suppose, what if in this added list I have multiple such elements? So I have, say, J, and I have, say, K, and I have, say, 100 also here, 1000 also, right? So this is going to be my one list. Okay, so this is my, so I have A as one list. So list, in this case, what I'm saying is list 1 is A, and I'm saying that list 2 is my defined one. So this is my list 2. Okay, now I'm adding two lists. So list 1, I'm doing list 1 plus list 2. In this case, look at the difference. So now can you see this? My all the elements got added here. So I, J, K, and 1000. So instead of having 6 indexes now, earlier, now the elements will be having, the completed list will be having 10 indexes, right? So each of these elements got added individually, right? So got added individually. So there is no, I would say, elements bifurcation. So now this is, even this individual elements got split into individual indexes and got added here, right? Now just look at this example. So if I do a dot append this, right? Now see this. Did you see the difference? Just look at the difference, guys. This is very important. Okay, so now look at this difference. So initially the A, when I added it like this by using the plus operator, all of the indexes got added individually. So now if we check the length of this, so let me first print A again, and then if I should check the length of this, right? So the length is 11 because I have the this should not be, just a minute. My bad. So I have to first define my, that is the reason why. So just a minute, guys. I think I just shit. Yeah, I have to define it again because I ran a code later, right? So that is the problem. So now this is my A. Okay, so this A is having 6 elements, right? Now I'm adding 4 more elements. Okay, so if I do a length of this, so length of this, and I do a print of this length. Okay, I want to show you this. This is very interesting. And now if I do print also of this entire thing, okay, so now look at the difference. So right, so when I added these two, right, by using a plus operator, my indexes become from 6 to 10 because 6 is my in list 1 and 4 is in my list 2. So now I have 10 indexes there, and the output is having how many indexes? So all the individual elements got added individually, right? So the list got split into multiple indexes. But on the other contrary, if I don't use this, right, if I just use an append function, so append function, what it does, and I'm passing the list, which is the same list, it won't add as an individual indexes. It'll take this list together as one element, right? So if I do it like this, now if I print the length of A, and if I print A here, can you see this? My length is 7. So now this entire list got added as one individual element. Okay, and in the A, can you see this? this entire thing is added at the end as one single element, not as individual indexes. That is the difference with the plus and the append operator. Clear guys? ये concept clear हुआ? So there is a difference in using the plus and the append operator. ठीक है? Is it clear guys? Quickly, yes or no? चलो, लेट मी शो इट यू वन मोर थिंग. अब जैसे हमने ऑपरेटर देखा, आपका प्लस वाला ऑपरेटर देखा, थैंक यू आकाश फॉर कंफर्मिंग. जो हमने अभी ऑपरेटर देखा प्लस वाला, अभी प्लस और अपेंड की जगह पे हम इसको मल्टीप्लाई भी कर सकते हैं, रेप्लिकेट भी कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, रेप्लिकेशन इज ऑल्सो पॉसिबल ऑन माई लिस्ट. अब रेप्लिकेशन कैसे पॉसिबल होता है, लेट मी शो इट यू. सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई हैव दिस ए बी सी डी एंड एफ. आई कैन डू ए क्रॉस 2. If I do it like this, the same elements will be repeated. The number of times I'll be multiplying it, right? So now it will be having, it has 6 elements as your length, right? Now the output will be having 12 such elements. You got it? So instead of having 6, it will be having 12 now. So likewise, I can do like 3 also, 4 also, right? So that's perfectly fine. Like if I give 4, for example, it will be multiplied 4 number of times. So A, B, C, D, and E, then A, B, C, D, E, and F, then again A, B, C, D, D, and F, then again A, B, C, D, E, and F. Okay, so that's how my elements will be replicated here. Cool. And again, definitely I can obviously apply the multiple mathematical functions on top of my list, like length, the minimum, the maximum functions, all are pretty much valid here. So we have already seen that. Cool. So another very interesting concept of my list is nested list. Okay, so I've already showed you this, but here I'm going you to I'm taking you a bit on a more depth. Okay, so like we can have any such elements there, guys. Any number of arbitrary depth is totally possible. So now look at this example. Okay, so this is something very interesting example. So now here, broadly, this is a complex example. Okay, so look at this example very carefully. So now here I have totally how many elements? So can somebody count that? So this is my first element. So in the X I have this is as my first element A. The second is my entire, this element is my second. Okay, the third is G, and this HHII is my fourth, and this is my fifth element J. So total I have 5 elements. Okay, so can you see the indexes here? 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the 0th index is A. This is pretty much okay. The second, the first index is my entire, this is my entire list. I've already defined it here. And the third is G. It is fine here. Fourth is again a list which is defined here. And the fifth, this is my fourth index, is J. So it's still defined here, right? So now look at the first index. So first index or the second value is this entire list, right? Is defined here. So BB, and then again I have a sublist here. Then I have EE, then I have FF, right? So now again, so on this list itself has 4 elements, right? BB as a first, and then again a list here which is defined here, and then the third element as EE and the fourth element as FF, right? Now look at again, go deep. So in the first element, which is again a list, CCC and DDD is defined here. So now again, so look at the indexes here, guys. Again, so if I have to find CCC, for example, so how can I get it? So this is my first example. So for X of 1, if I'll get, that'll be my list, right? Now if I go deep here in this list, I have to give X of 1 of 1. So X of 1 of 1, that'll give me this list. Now if I have to access CCC, for example, I have to give X of 1 of 0. My third level indexes. So that's going to give me CCC, right? Likewise for this will be only X of 3, because in X of 3 I'll be getting this. And now to access say HH, I'll be giving X of 3 of 0. It'll give me H. Clear, guys? Does that make sense again? So I can, likewise I can go to any such depth, okay? Any such depth is totally possible for any of my problem statements, right? So I can go to any such depth. That's totally okay for me. Okay? So shall we do some exercises here, guys? So let me just show some examples and let's do that. So I have my x, so x, I'll just define x here and let's try to do some questions on this. So right, okay, so now I'm doing this. Okay, can somebody tell me, this is my x here, okay? So look at the question, so this is my x, the entire x, right? Now this is the question I want to ask you. So I'm combining my indexes, my slicing, everything on top of this list only. I'm making it very complicated, okay? So very complicated. Now can somebody tell me what will be the output of this question? Trust me, these questions are very standard questions and they are also asked in your MCQ questions in your Python interviews and all that, okay? So these are very standard questions. So guys, the reason why I'm giving you these are very, very basic concepts, but again, it becomes very complex when you combine multiple things, right? So that is the reason why you're trying to solve as many questions. Can somebody tell me what will be the output here? So this is your question. So you have to give me the output for this query. Chalo. Let's do it one by one. Okay, एक example show करता हूँ आपको, then maybe you'll be able to give me an answer later. Okay. So जैसे मैंने आपको क्या बोला, in list the indexing or the slicing happens sequentially. Okay. तो सबसे पहले क्या इस, अगर जो मैं इतना complicated बोला आपको, सबसे पहले इसमें क्या रन होगा? सबसे पहले x of 1 रन होगा, ठीक है? फिर x of 1 के बाद जो रन होगा, x of 1 के आउटपुट के ऊपर जो रन होगा वो ये रन होगा, ठीक है? फिर now on top of these two outputs this 2 would be run, and now on top of these 3 outputs then this would be run, then on top of the entire thing ka output the final 0 would be run. Okay, this is very important guys. So sequence is very important. It is the execution sequence is always from left to right. Okay, so from left to right sequences, that's how it is being handled here. So अभी हम इक्वली सॉल्व करते हैं. So सबसे पहले अगर ये क्वेश्चन दिया हूं आपको, तो सबसे पहले x of 1 रन होगा. So x of 1 क्या है? x of 1 तो मेरा ये पूरा इंटायर लिस्ट है ना? So if I do x of 1, I'll be getting BB, CCC, DDD, EE and FF. So this is going to be my entire output here, x of 1, right? Now on top of this I'm doing colon minus 1. तो colon minus 1 क्या करता है guys? Colon minus 1 आपको starting to end index and the step size is reverse. So ये string list को reverse कर देगा. So if I do it like this, now this inner list will be reversed. So now I have FF as first index, EE, and then CCC, DDD, and BB. Look, always remember guys, I am not reversing, so this will not reverse the internal list. No, this will be taken as one individual list, okay? So this is where this will be given, minus 1. Now on top of this, I'm giving 2. So what is my 2 here? 0, 1, 2. So this will be taken from here, okay? If I do it like this, now I have CCC and DDD given here. Now again what I'm doing, colon minus 1. So I'm doing colon minus 1. So I'm again reversing this list. So I'm reversing means now DDD will become first, CCC will become second. And now on top of this, I'm doing 0. So 0 means first index of this. So I'll be getting DDD as my output. Yes, absolutely Akash. Thank you so much. Very well guessed. So the answer is in fact DDD. Okay. Any questions guys? एक और क्वेश्चन करें इस पे. लेट्स डू वन मोर क्वेश्चन. ये थोड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग एग्जांपल है. सो इसमें वी कैन हैव एज मेनी क्वेश्चंस एज वी कैन, बट अगेन आई थिंक लेट्स टेक वन मोर एंड देन मे बी वी कैन स्टॉप फॉर द डे. So that is something which we can do. So चलो let's do one more question. So I have say x. अभी मैं एक काम करता हूँ. I'll do like this. So minus 2. If I do it like, oh my bad. So for example, if I do it like this, so I would do it like 3. Right. So and then I'll do it like say minus 1 here, no, minus 2 here. Then I'll do it like minus 3. Great. So now I do it like this. Okay. Okay. Cool. Let me just pause this up, and then if I do it like this, right. Now I'll be doing this, and then I'll be saying, say, colon, colon, minus 3 again. Then I'll be doing colon, colon, minus 1, and then I'll be doing 1. Can somebody tell me what will be the output of this? No, I think my bad. Great, guys. So this is your question. Same list, the X which we were talking about. On top of this X, we can have the indexing specified on this. So we can have through multiple values. So do you want to try, Akash? Again, it's simple only, but again, just it'll give you more clear picture how we can define the indexes. So again, I'll just solve it for you, but again, I'll try to understand this. So again, first this will be printed. So this will be actioned on. So if I do it like this, I'll get, so minus 3. Starting from the reverse, it's going to be first J1, 0, 1, 2, and the third index. This is what my third index says, right? So this is what will be printed here. So JJ, this is my entire list, right? Now on top of this, I'll be running colon colon minus 2. So minus 2 reverse में बोल रहा हूँ मैं, starting from 0, 1, and 2. So if I do it like this, I'll get my just right. So that's fine. So now if I do it like this, great. Now again on top of this, if I do it like colon colon minus 1, it'll be reversing the entire list. Now if I do it like 1, it'll be actually giving me, so I'll have the inner list. So I'll be defining my values as, say, if I have to get the value as I have to so it's gonna be my 0, and then on top of this is gonna be my, say, 1, and then on top of this is gonna be my 2. So gonna be my 1, and this gonna be my 1 again. Cool, clear? So again the point is, I can go to any of such indexing, guys. So I can keep on adding any slicing, any indexing on top of this. That's pretty much valid, okay? So, but the important point to understand is we have to figure out how the outputs are being changed here, right? So it's always important to understand the indexing and the slicing. Agar aapka basic concept clear hai, if you're able to understand how we can go deep in that, for the same, so the reason I wanted to give you this is because I can achieve the same thing in any direction, right? So any direction, I can go to any direction. So I have just added few more complexities on top of that, and we can definitely achieve the same thing in different ways also, right? So the concept here still remains the same. The objective is still to get the same output, but again, the thing was I can achieve this in multiple ways. So I have added a different direction in terms of indexing and the slicing. ठीक है? So ये एक बहुत ही important concept of lists. So where we are talking about the multi-dimensional lists. So we are talking about different lists being taken care into of, and then how slicing and multiple such indexing affects our results. Okay. So that's about it, guys, for today. I think this is decent enough to start with. I have a few more content which I wanted to cover in advanced list and tuple. So we have one more planned session for list that should be coming, I think tomorrow. So tomorrow 10 p.m. Yeah. So we'll be going live again tomorrow 10 p.m. the same time, not in the morning, guys. So we'll be going live from tomorrow as well, same time 10 p.m. And I'll be covering few more topics on list and tuples. Okay, this is one of the interesting topics, but again we have few more content. So where we'll be talking about how list manipulations are done. Okay. So this is one odd way. So this is the slicing technique, right? But we do have the inbuilt functionality. So we have extend, we have append, we have pop and all that. So a lot of things are still available in lists, so which we can still cover. So that we'll be doing in tomorrow's session. Okay. So, but again, this is again something which is very important, guys, slicing and indexing. Okay. Any questions in this? Akash, anybody, any questions in whatever we have discussed so far? Quickly, anybody has any concerns before we wrap up? Any questions? Any last moment questions? Great. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. And I give your weekend back. So stay safe, keep learning, and let's meet tomorrow 10 p.m. Okay, not 10 a.m. We'll be going live at the same time as always, 10 p.m. Thank you so much, guys. Happy weekend. Bye bye. Sure, Akash. Please, you can always practice. So yeah, Python is all about practice. I hope you've understood the concept. But again, you can try to solve as many questions at your place also.